Sarah always started her day the same way. She picked up her phone and checked social media before even getting out of bed. She scrolled through photos, liked posts, and watched stories. Sometimes she would lose track of time and feel a little bit tired. She wondered why she felt this way. The more she used social media, the more she compared herself to others. It seemed like everyone was happier and more successful. This made her feel lonely, even though she had hundreds of online friends. One morning, Sarah read an article about a 30 days without social media challenge. The author talked about feeling free and more connected with real life after a month away from apps. The idea made Sarah curious but also a little afraid. Sarah thought, "Can I really stop using social media for 30 days? Will I lose my friends? Will I feel bored?" She asked her best friend Anna during lunch. Anna listened carefully and said, "It sounds hard, but maybe it's good for you." Anna smiled and added, "I can help you. If you need to talk, just call me. You can do this, Sarah." Sarah felt better after hearing Anna's support. She knew it would not be easy, but she wanted to try the challenge. That night, Sarah turned off her notifications. She deleted her favorite social media apps from her phone. Her heart was beating fast. She was scared, but also excited. Tomorrow would be her first day without social media in years. The next morning, Sarah woke up and reached for her phone out of habit. She wanted to check updates, but remembered her promise. She put the phone down and stared at the ceiling, feeling a little lost without her usual routine. To distract herself, Sarah made a big breakfast. She cooked eggs, toast, and fresh fruit. She listened to music and tried to enjoy the moment. It was quiet in the kitchen. She noticed the colors of her food and the sunshine through the window. During breakfast, Sarah wondered what her friends were doing. Were they posting photos? Did anyone send her a message? She felt a strong urge to check her phone, but she took a deep breath and stayed away from it. Later that morning, Sarah went for a walk in the park. She usually took photos to share online, but today she just walked and looked around. She saw children playing and dogs running. She noticed the smell of grass and the soft breeze on her face. Sarah tried to stay in the moment. She saw an old man reading a newspaper on a bench. She smiled at him and he smiled back. For the first time in a while, she felt connected to the real world, not just a screen. In the afternoon, Sarah felt restless. She missed the excitement of checking notifications. She felt a little bored, so she picked up a book she had not finished in months. She read for an hour and was surprised by how much she enjoyed the story. At dinner, Sarah told her family about her challenge. Her mom said, "That's a great idea. Maybe you will find new hobbies." Her dad added, "It's good to take a break sometimes." Sarah felt proud of herself for trying something different. That night, Sarah went to bed without checking her phone. She felt a bit empty, but also calm. She wondered what the next day would be like. Would it get easier or harder? She was determined to keep going and see what she could learn. On the second day, Sarah woke up and remembered her challenge. She stretched and took a few deep breaths. She realized she slept better without late-night scrolling. Her mind felt clearer and her eyes were not so tired. Sarah made a list of things she wanted to do. She wrote, "Try new recipes, read, call friends, take long walks." She wanted to fill her days with activities that did not need a screen. She felt hopeful, but still missed her online world. Anna called her in the afternoon. "How's your first day going?" Anna asked. Sarah laughed and said, "It's harder than I thought, but I feel different. I noticed so many things today." Anna cheered her on, making Sarah feel stronger. In the evening, Sarah started a journal. She wrote about her feelings and everything she did without social media. She wrote, "Today I felt lonely but also free. I want to see how much I can change in 30 days. By the end of the second day, Sarah felt a bit more comfortable. She was curious about how much her life could change. She decided to focus on real moments, real conversations, and real experiences. Her journey had just begun. The next week was harder for Sarah. Every time she saw someone with a phone, she wanted to look at social media. Sometimes she felt left out. She wondered if people noticed her silence online. She felt invisible, but also a little bit peaceful inside. One day, Sarah went to a coffee shop. Usually, she would take a photo of her coffee and post it online. This time, she just sat by the window. She watched the street, the cars passing by, and people talking. She saw a little girl laugh with her mom. Sarah noticed things she never saw before. She saw a bird picking crumbs from the ground. She watched a couple smile at each other. Without her phone in her hand, she felt like part of the world again. She wrote in her journal, "I see more now." At home, Sarah found it difficult to fill her time. Before, she would spend hours scrolling through feeds. Now she had extra time but didn't know what to do. She felt bored and frustrated but tried to be patient. Change was never easy, she thought. On the 5th day, Sarah tried cooking a new recipe. She made homemade pasta. The dough was sticky and her kitchen got messy, but she laughed at herself. She sent a photo to Anna by text, just to share her moment with a real friend, not the whole world. Anna replied, "That looks delicious. How does it taste?" Sarah smiled and wrote back, "It tastes better because I made it myself." She felt proud. For the first time, Sarah enjoyed doing something just for herself, not for likes or comments. Sarah started to spend more time outside. She went for walks without headphones, listening to the sounds of the city. She heard birds singing, dogs barking, and children playing. Every day, she found something new to enjoy in the world around her. One afternoon, Sarah met her neighbor, Mrs. Green, in the hallway. Mrs. Green was carrying groceries. Sarah offered to help her. Mrs. Green smiled and said, "Thank you, dear." Not many young people stop to talk these days. Sarah felt warm inside. They chatted for a while about the weather, their favorite foods, and old stories. Sarah realized she liked talking to people face to face. It made her feel less lonely. She promised herself to make more time for real conversations. At first, Sarah missed her online friends. But now, she started to call them or invite them to meet in person. She talked to Anna on the phone for an hour, sharing stories and laughter. It felt more special than any online chat. Sarah's parents noticed the change. Her mom said, "You seem happier these days. Your eyes look brighter." Sarah smiled. She felt happier, but it was not always easy. Some days she wanted to give up and go back online. But she stayed strong. Sarah also had more time for old hobbies. She found her sketchbook under her bed. She started drawing again, something she had not done since school. Drawing made her feel calm and focused. She drew flowers, trees, and even her favorite coffee cup. Sarah wrote in her journal, "Without social media, I find more space in my mind. I feel more creative and less stressed. I wonder what else I will discover in the next weeks." She was starting to enjoy her new routine. Sometimes, Sarah worried she was missing important news or events. She asked Anna, "Do people forget about me when I'm offline?" Anna laughed and said, "True friends remember you. Don't worry, you're still here, just in a different way." Sarah thought about Anna's words. She realized she didn't need to be online all the time to matter. Her value came from who she was, not how many likes she got. This idea made her feel strong and more confident in herself. Sarah also slept better. She read books before bed instead of scrolling through her phone. She felt more rested in the morning. She started to dream more often and wrote about her dreams in her journal. Every day felt a little brighter. After 10 days, Sarah felt proud of herself. She had already changed a lot. She was less worried about what people thought online. She focused on what made her happy in real life. She smiled more, laughed more, and felt more like herself. Sarah was curious about how the rest of her month would go. She wanted to learn more about herself and the world around her. She promised to keep going, even when it was hard. Her journey without social media was just getting started. Sarah's days were different now. Instead of staring at her phone, she started her mornings with stretching and soft music. The sunlight came through her window and she smiled, feeling grateful for a new day. She wrote her thoughts in her journal every morning. One morning, she met Anna for breakfast at their favorite cafe. Without social media, their conversation felt deeper. Sarah listened closely to Anna's stories and shared her own dreams. They talked about places they wanted to visit and hobbies they wanted to try. Anna noticed the change in Sarah. "You seem more present." "I like talking with you like this," Anna said. Sarah nodded. "I feel lighter, like my mind is not full of other people's lives anymore." They laughed and made plans for a hiking trip together. Sarah joined a local book club. She saw a poster at the library and decided to try. At the first meeting, she felt shy, but the group was friendly. They discussed their favorite books, and Sarah enjoyed listening to different opinions and ideas. After the meeting, Sarah chatted with Tom, a fellow member. Tom asked, "What made you join the club?" Sarah smiled. "I wanted to meet new people and try something different." Tom replied, "I'm glad you did. It's nice to meet someone who loves reading too." Sarah found herself looking forward to book club every week. It gave her something new to think about. She even started reading outside her comfort zone. New stories filled her mind and inspired her to write short stories of her own in her journal. At home, Sarah spent more time with her family. She helped her mom cook dinner and played board games with her little brother. They laughed and shared stories. Sarah felt closer to her family than she had in a long time. One evening, Sarah's dad said, "It's nice to see you smiling more. We missed having you around." Sarah realized how much time she used to spend looking at a screen, even when her family was together. Now she enjoyed every moment with them. Sarah kept meeting Mrs. Green in the hallway. They talked about gardening, pets, and the old days. Mrs. Green gave Sarah some flower seeds. "Plant these and watch them grow," she said. Sarah planted the seeds on her balcony and waited to see them sprout. Every day, Sarah watered the flowers and checked their progress. Watching them grow made her feel peaceful and patient. She realized that change takes time, just like the flowers needed water and sunlight to bloom. Sometimes, Sarah still felt the urge to check her phone. She missed the instant updates, the funny memes, and seeing what her friends were doing. But she reminded herself that real life was happening right in front of her, and it was beautiful too. To help her stay focused, Sarah made a vision board with pictures and words that inspired her. She put it above her desk so she could see it every day. It reminded her of her goals and dreams and made her feel excited for the future. Sarah started learning to play the guitar. She watched videos and practiced every day. At first, her fingers hurt and the chords sounded wrong, but she kept trying. Slowly, she played simple songs and sang along. Music filled her room with joy. Her brother cheered her on. "You're getting better, Sarah," he said. She laughed and let him try the guitar too. They played together and made up silly songs. Their home was full of laughter and music, and Sarah felt truly happy. Sarah also tried journaling at night. She wrote about her feelings, her progress, and the little things she was grateful for each day. Her journal became a safe space where she could be honest and reflect on her journey. One day, Anna called and said, "You inspire me, Sarah. Maybe I'll take a break from social media too." Sarah smiled and replied, "We can support each other. It's easier when we're not alone." They made a promise to help each other grow. As the days passed, Sarah noticed she was less anxious. She didn't worry about missing out or comparing herself to others. She found her own path, and it felt right for her. She learned to trust her own feelings and choices. Sarah's flowers started to bloom. Bright colors appeared on her balcony. She took care of them every day, feeling proud of their growth. They reminded her that patience and care bring beautiful results both for flowers and for herself. By the end of the third week, Sarah felt like a new person. She enjoyed simple things and found happiness in real moments. She made new friends, learned new skills, and grew closer to her family. Her world was bigger, even without a phone screen. Sarah knew the challenge was not over yet. She wondered what the final days would bring. Would she want to return to social media, or was her new life too precious to give up? She was ready to keep learning and growing. The final week of Sarah's 30-day journey arrived. She could hardly believe how much had changed. She felt lighter, more peaceful, and more confident. Yet, there was one thing left: facing the thought of returning to social media. On day 24, Sarah got a message from her cousin Lisa. Lisa invited her to a family picnic in the park. Sarah agreed and looked forward to spending time outside, surrounded by nature and the people she loved. At the picnic, Sarah noticed everyone was laughing, playing games, and talking. Some people checked their phones, but Sarah left hers in her bag. She joined the children's game, helped set up the food, and talked with her relatives. Lisa said, "You seem so happy lately, Sarah. What's your secret?" Sarah smiled and replied, "I took a break from social media. Now I have more time for real life. It's not always easy, but it's worth it." Her aunt overheard and joined their conversation. "I wish I could do that too," she said. Sarah nodded. "You can try it for a few days. It really helps you see the world differently." Her family listened with interest as Sarah shared her story. The sun set, painting the sky with orange and pink colors. Sarah lay on the grass and watched the clouds move slowly. She felt a deep sense of peace. She realized that real moments like these were more important than any post or picture online. That night, Sarah talked with Anna on the phone. Anna said, "I can hear a difference in your voice, Sarah. You sound calm and strong. I'm proud of you." Sarah felt grateful for Anna's friendship and support. She knew real friends were always there. During the last days, Sarah reflected on her journey. She wrote a long entry in her journal. "I was afraid to miss out. I thought I needed social media to feel connected. But now, I see how many wonderful things are waiting outside my screen." Sarah listed all the good things that had happened. New friends from the book club, learning guitar, blooming flowers, closer family bonds, and more time for hobbies. She wrote, "I found myself again. I'm more than my online profile." On day 28, Sarah faced her old habits. She saw people in a cafe, heads down, scrolling through their phones. She remembered how that used to be her, missing out on real conversations and beautiful moments. Sarah realized she didn't want to go back to her old routine. She felt stronger and happier without always checking notifications or worrying about likes. She knew she could use social media in a new way, not as her main focus. One evening, Sarah's mom sat beside her and said, "We see a big change in you. You laugh more, you share more. We're glad to have you back." Sarah hugged her mom, feeling warm and loved. Her heart was full of gratitude. As the last day of the challenge came, Sarah was both excited and nervous. She wondered, should I return to social media tomorrow, or should I keep living like this? She decided to think carefully about what was best for her. Sarah talked to Anna again. Anna asked, "What will you do after the 30 days?" Sarah replied, "I think I'll use social media less. Maybe I'll only check it a few times a week. I don't want to lose the new things I found." Anna said, "That sounds smart. You found balance and that's important," Sarah agreed. She wanted to keep her real-life connections strong. She wanted to remember how good it felt to live in the moment and enjoy simple things. Sarah decided to set new rules for herself. She would not use her phone at meals or before bed. She would turn off notifications and spend more time with family and friends. She wrote these goals in her journal as a promise to herself. The next morning, Sarah woke up on day 30. She felt proud and happy. She looked at her phone, but she didn't feel the old urge to scroll. Instead, she made breakfast, watered her flowers, and enjoyed a slow morning with her family. Later that day, Sarah checked her social media for the first time in a month. She found many messages and updates waiting for her. She answered her close friends, but didn't spend hours scrolling. She felt in control, not addicted. Sarah shared a post about her experience. She wrote, "I spent 30 days without social media. I found happiness in small things, grew closer to my family, and made new friends. Real life is beautiful. Try it for yourself. You might be surprised." Her friends reacted with surprise and encouragement. Some asked how she managed. Sarah replied, "Start small. Take one day off, then a week. Find activities you love. It gets easier and you learn so much about yourself and the world." Sarah was glad she did the challenge. She found new confidence and peace. She was not afraid to be herself. She smiled, knowing that her life was fuller and richer than ever, both online and offline. The days after the challenge felt different for Sarah. Even though she had finished her 30-day goal, she did not feel the need to go back to her old habits. She had learned so much and did not want to lose the new happiness she found in real life. Sarah kept her new routine. She still woke up without checking her phone. She enjoyed quiet mornings with tea and her journal. She wrote about her dreams and plans. Every day, she focused on what really mattered to her: family, friends, and simple joys. Sarah spent more time with her family. She played games with her brother and helped her mom in the kitchen. She listened to her dad's stories and laughed at his jokes. The house felt warmer and happier. Sarah knew these moments were treasures. She continued to meet Anna at the park or the cafe. They talked for hours about books, dreams, and travel. Sometimes they just sat together and watched people walk by. The friendship grew stronger with every real conversation. Sarah's book club meetings became her favorite part of the week. She enjoyed sharing her ideas and hearing others' thoughts. She read more than ever before. Sometimes she even wrote poems and short stories inspired by her experiences. Her flowers bloomed on the balcony, filling her space with color. Sarah cared for them every day, just as she cared for herself and her relationships. Watching them grow reminded her of her own journey and how far she had come. Sarah played guitar with her brother and sang songs in the living room. Their music brought joy to everyone at home. Even her parents clapped and danced along. Sarah felt more connected to her family than she ever had during her online days. Sarah also spent time helping her neighbor, Mrs. Green, water the garden and carry groceries. They became good friends and shared many laughs. Mrs. Green told Sarah, "You are like a granddaughter to me now." Sarah felt loved and needed. Sometimes, Sarah checked her social media to stay in touch with friends far away. But she never let it take over her life again. She set limits for herself and followed them. She used her phone as a tool, not a habit. Sarah noticed she was more relaxed and less anxious. She did not feel the pressure to compare herself with others or chase likes and comments. She trusted herself and enjoyed being who she was. She learned to love her own life, just as it was. Sarah inspired others too. Anna started her own break from social media, and even Sarah's mom tried using her phone less. Her family spent more time talking, playing, and laughing together. The whole house felt happier and closer. Sarah continued to write in her journal every night. She wrote, "I am grateful for the chance to change. I found myself again. I see beauty in small things, and I know how to find joy in each day." Her words became a record of her growth. She still faced challenges. Some days she wanted to scroll through her feed or see what everyone else was doing. But she remembered her promise and chose something better: reading a book, calling a friend, or going for a walk outside. Sarah set new goals for herself. She wanted to travel, learn new skills, and help others. She signed up for a cooking class, joined a local volunteer group, and planned a small trip with Anna. Her world grew bigger, filled with hope and excitement. As time passed, Sarah realized she was no longer afraid to miss out. She had created a life full of meaning, connection, and real joy. She was proud of herself for being brave enough to change and to share her story with others. Sarah's journey did not end with the 30 days. It was only the beginning of a new life. She learned that happiness is not found on a screen, but in real moments, loving relationships, and in taking care of herself and others. One evening, Sarah stood on her balcony and watched the sunset. The sky was painted with colors, just like the first evening she began her challenge. She smiled and whispered, "Thank you for this beautiful life." She knew there would still be ups and downs, good days and hard days. But Sarah had the tools she needed now: patience, gratitude, and the courage to live fully in each moment. She felt strong and ready for whatever came next. Sarah wanted everyone to know they could try this too. She shared her journey in her book club, with her family, and online. She said, "You don't have to be afraid. Real life is waiting for you. Give yourself the gift of time and watch your world change." And so, Sarah's story became an inspiration to others. People around her started to see their own lives differently. They spent more time together, laughed more, and found joy in the simple things. Sarah's new life was not just her own, it was shared. Sarah promised herself to keep growing, learning, and loving every day. She would keep her heart open to new adventures and friendships. The world was wide and full of beauty, and Sarah was ready to live it, one real moment at a time.